Welcome to the Crypto Boss Ninja channel. Let's look at XCN coin. I haven't looked at this in a while, but for the long time it was bearish, and then it got bullish again, and I just think it's due for an update. If you guys enjoyed this content, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and also, guys, we have a Telegram group. It is free to join, so click the link in the description to join, and we also have a Patreon in the Telegram as well. So let's look at this. On the weekly chart, you're getting the curve down. This looks like it might become a falling wedge, maybe even become a rounded bottom, but we'll see what happens. The 3-day chart right now is already oversold. I like that. So I already had this in a falling wedge for a little bit. It never really played out. And when I look at the smaller time frames, I don't actually like that as a falling wedge as much because it's kind of rounding, which is rounded bottoms are bullish. But to me, we have to negate this as a falling wedge because it just kept falling to the downside. And at this point, it's now making a rounded bottom, and that's really no longer a falling wedge. So I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to delete this. And then, so the 3-day chart is oversold, though. That's a good sign. The daily chart right now, trying to get the bounce up quickly. Usually when you see it get a bounce before it's completely oversold, that usually doesn't, the bounce never lasts. Plus, you don't really see it in the candles that you get much of a bounce. So my guess is the stock RSI kind of curls down once again, maybe goes up a little bit, but then curls back down, and then you get the bounce there. That's what I predict. That's usually what we see happen on that. Now, I guess if you look at the daily, you could still maybe say this is a falling wedge, but, you know, it's possible, very possible. If that is going to play out, the measure move is roughly, you know, about 50. So that's like half a penny basically is the measure move, and right now you get like a tenth of a penny just over. So that's what we're looking at possibly on the daily chart for XCN. Now, if we go look at the forward chart, you see that you're making a lower high. You're below the 200 simple moving average, and you're also making a lower high, like I just said, I guess, on the forward chart. So that's not a good sign, but I guess technically you're still in the falling wedge. But at some point, this falling wedge is going to have to break to the upside. If it doesn't, obviously, you have to negate it again. The 1-hour chart is oversold. I think when we're looking at such smaller time frames such as the 1-hour chart, it's not worth it when you were just looking at the weekly time frame. So really, I'm going to keep it on the longer term time frames. Weekly is probably going to the weekly still has more downside. So my guess is you probably have another few weeks of downside action, which makes me really not think the daily chart falling wedge is going to play out to the upside. The 3-day is ready for a bounce, but doesn't need to get it if the weekly is still overbought or coming down. And the daily, because yes, that's a falling wedge, but due to the weekly time frame, I don't think you're going to get much of a bounce, if any, out of this. And I definitely don't think you're going to hit the measure move anytime soon. So really, I would probably stay away from this coin right now. But that's what we're looking at. You know, that is, and also on the weekly time frame, that put in a lower high. So I would just be very cautious right now. Now, really, as long as you're putting in lower highs and lower lows, you can actually look for a lower low down here. That is definitely still on the table until you put in a higher low on the weekly. So, you know, on the larger time frame, such as the weekly chart, in my opinion, this is still bearish, and it's not bullish until you get a major bounce on the weekly time frame. So we'll see what happens, but that's what we're looking at right now. I would stay away from this coin, but you know, that is kind of the things to look out for right now. Now, if you're looking to trade this on the smaller time frames, you definitely have resistance right there where you got topped out. You have support right here because you got to bounce off of it one time at 12,714. But at the same time, I believe you're going to retest that level and break it to the downside. And then you also have support right here where you got a bounce initially. So that's what we're looking at for the local support and resistances. I think short term, there's probably gains to be made if you time the market right, especially if you're shorting it. But overall, I would stay away from it if you're looking for a long position longer term. With that being said, guys, that's all I got. If you guys enjoy this, pretty sure if you hit the like and subscribe, hit the follow button, or hit the bell notification so you get notified every time we go live. I'll see you guys in the next video.